What's up everyone, it's your girl Shay here. Welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. And as you can see by the title of today's video, I'm here with an anime discussion. I haven't done one of these in a while, but I figured it's about time, and I found a pretty interesting article that made me want to do this discussion. You can tell by the title pretty much what it is, but just in case, the title of the article is New Survey Says Anime is No Longer for Teens, and it's by CBR.com. That's where I got the article from. The title of the article caught my eye just because of the fact that I've always had this conception or this thought that anime definitely wasn't just for teenagers. I've always thought that is something that I've always discussed and told to anyone that always thought that anime was just like for children or just for teenagers. And I was like, no, it is very much able to be watched by adults depending on the genre that you like, depending on the type of anime that you like. There's an age range, right? So they decided to do a survey, and in the survey it says here that they took 500 female and male participants in Japan ages 15 to 59, and then they asked them what types of anime that they watched, the popularity by anime genre, then analyzed across gender, age, and annual income. And so these are results mostly from Japan. They're not results from the West, but I'm going to be talking about both the West and Japan based off of these results. So basically the results in Japan were that a lot of teenagers are not watching anime. It's mostly a lot of people who are older, like millennials, are more so watching anime, whereas Gen Z are not watching as much of it. And as far as the West is concerned, the West is still a lot of millennials and Gen Z are also watching anime. So that really hasn't exactly changed. They did discuss the West very, very briefly in this article. Also, I will link the article in the description box below if you also want to read it. For some reason on my phone, the graphs are extremely, extremely tiny. So I'm not able to really get a huge grasp on what the graphs themselves are saying, but I'm going a lot of this based off of my own opinion and my own thoughts based on what I was able to read in the article, just as a little bit of a explanation. Now they do go they do talk about a few reasons why it could be that teens in Japan are not watching as much anime as those of millennials or other generations. One reason that they said is possibly because of the fact that they have a lot more obligations, for example, with school. And I know that in Japan and a lot of other countries, school is a big thing there. You need to get good grades. You have to do very well in school. Not saying in the West that you don't have to do very well in school. You do have to do very well in school in the West as well. But there is definitely there's definitely a much bigger emphasis on it in Asian countries as opposed to in the West. So they said that's one reason why. I think that is one of the reasons, but I also think it's for another reason, and I think it's because of other social media sites, for example, TikTok. TikTok is such a big time waster for a lot of individuals where they could just spend hours on the app literally just scrolling, compared to before when TikTok did not exist, as well as other social media sites where anime was one of the bigger things that a lot of us enjoyed and watched, and it was something for us to just mind numb us out of reality of what was actually going on around us. But now we have social media sites like TikTok, and I know a lot of people always say that TikTok and other social media sites is what's causing a lot of the younger generations to have such short attention spans, because of the fact that you're able to get such a huge gratification or be entertained by a simple 2-minute video or less than 2-minute video in some cases, whereas longer form content is causing a lot of people to kind of turn away from it because it is much harder, I guess, to get into with people who have a shorter attention span. That's just my thought. That's kind of how I think about it. Now, as far as they talk about genres are concerned, they said surprisingly, yes, action and adventure are up there with the highest, kind of. But they said it was kind of interesting considering that in the West, it's a lot of action and adventure shows, like shonen shows that are very popular. And they said it's interesting because those are usually demographically for the ages between 12 and 18, which I was kind of shocked about that because I always thought it was older that they went towards regarding those shows, but I guess not. But surprisingly, they said it was romance, and that actually caught me off guard. Not saying romance was never a popular genre within anime, it definitely was, but to hear that it's one of the top ones up there, like pretty high up, is kind of surprising. But then I had to think about it. And in the article, they also discussed this as well. This could be because of COVID. Because of COVID, it caused a lot of people, definitely Gen Zers, during the optimal time of when they're wanting much more social interaction. They're not able to do that because, of course, COVID caused a lot of us to be indoors. We were only able to spend time with our family, and if we want to spend time with other people outside of our family, it was done virtually. School was virtually. A lot of Gen Zers missed out on a lot of great social interactions that I know I got. Like, for example, they missed out on prom, they missed out on graduation, and that was like a huge span of their social years, being able also to experience like teen dating and just like hanging out and going out and, you know, talking to other people. Those were things that during COVID, for that span of, I'll say, 2 years, that they just didn't get to have, and they weren't able to get back. So it is surprising yet not surprising that romance is up there, because it is something that a lot of us probably wanted during COVID, because we weren't able to spend time with our loved ones or spend time with other people or meet other people during that time frame. So yeah, that actually was surprising yet not surprising. Now, as far as in the West, I know I talked about it very briefly. The age range hasn't really changed regarding, you know, whether or not teens watch anime. They still do. And one of the things that they said is because of the boom that anime had during, once again, COVID. And that's not surprising to me, because a lot of interest had a huge boom because of COVID. Anime is one of them, but then also K-pop. A lot of people got into groups like BTS, Blackpink, 17, Stray Kids during COVID, because let's be honest, there wasn't a whole lot to do, and a lot of people picked up a lot of interest that they wouldn't have picked up before, or got hobbies and stuff like that. I mean, who remembers when everybody was baking banana bread, making dalgona coffee, and who else remembers when everyone was doing all those challenges at home because there was literally nothing else to do? So anime also experienced that boom as well, and a lot of people who do creating on like YouTube, TikTok, everywhere else also experienced a boom as well, because a lot of people were at home. So it's not surprising that that boom of anime in the West has kind of kept its steady increase because of that, or at least I think it's kept a steady increase. But someone can definitely correct me if they see more of a decline in anime watching because of COVID no longer being, not saying COVID's not around, but because of what was happening during COVID no longer happening currently, and we're all able to like go outside and stuff. But yeah, overall, this article was very interesting for me to read, because I always thought, once again, that anime wasn't just for teenagers. I always thought anime had a wide range of ages that were watching it, especially because of particular genres. Like, you have Pokemon, that's definitely for like the younger age range, but then you also have shows like Attack on Titan that definitely have, to me at least, a much older age range that's most likely watching. So I always thought of it as more of a spectrum, and not so much as like a hard only teenagers are really watching this, because I always argued with my parents as well as other people that anime is for everybody, and it's not just pigeonholed into this like childish demographic that everyone seems to think. But what do you guys think? Again, I'll leave the article down below so you can definitely read it for yourself. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you think the reason why teens in Japan aren't watching it as much is because of, you know, other obligations like school, obviously, but also because of other social media sites like TikTok, and being able to, you know, hang out with friends more and stuff like that compared to previously. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Of course, comment down below your thoughts. Comment down below any suggestions you have for future videos. I do take a lot of those into consideration. I just have to figure out how logistically some of those are going to work. Also, I'll leave links down below to all my social media accounts, my Instagram, my Twitter, and I also do have a TikTok, so check me out on there as well. And of course, please like this video and please subscribe if you haven't already, so you are kept up to date for future videos. So of course, hit the bell to turn on notifications. And yeah, like I always tell you guys, stay positive, stay nerdy, and in today's day and age, stay healthy, and of course, please stay safe. All right, you guys, bye.